Well, like Leah and Lucy and Katie said, I think the common thread through all of this is the necessity to pivot when you're confronted with, something like this. And I don't think it's anything that any of us could have ever contemplated. And Leah, I'm sorry that we're closed so that we can't send folks to you. So as Lucy said, or maybe it was Katie, when this happened in March, it happened all of a sudden. I mean, we kind of knew that things were happening, but I don't think anybody expected it to be, is accelerated in the way that it was, so that you went from 0 to 100. We closed, I think, on March the 16th. We then thought it wasn't going to last that long, so we were reluctant to begin canceling things. And what we did do immediately was to meet with our finance committee of the board to figure out how to mitigate expenses right away. And so we immediately began doing that and, taking measures that I think probably most businesses and certainly not-for-profits did. We began to, we had consultants that we had to terminate contracts with. We managed to maybe renegotiate some of the agreements with our vendors. We had to put in place a furlough plan. And actually, we now at the Apollo have nearly 100 employees. So we focused on how we were going to go about that. And then there were a number of employees we put on deferred compensation. We slashed our budget. We were on our way to having a really great fiscal 20 year when this happened. And we went from thinking that we were going to end the year with a pretty robust surplus to losing nearly $4 million when we realized that we were going to have to cancel over 100 performances and programs. And so, we're a not-for-profit. And so we immediately went into fundraising mode. The Apollo relies on the foundations, corporations, and individual donors, those communities to support the organization. So one of our board members contributed a large amount, and we were able to go out and fundraise against that and ask people to match it. So we were able to close that gap. The other thing is we really felt like it was important to focus on our employees and to make sure that the thing that I think that we were most worried about was maintaining health benefits. So when we had to, roll out the furlough program, and then later the furlough program was implemented in April. And then in June, well, beginning July 1st, we actually had to lay off a significant number of our employees. And so we raised money so that we could cover their insurance benefits until the COBRA payments until the end of the year, because I knew that it was going to be very difficult for most of those employees and their families to maintain some kind of coverage. We were really concerned with, part of our pivoting was to go immediately to the digital space. And so I have to say at this juncture, I think the entire Apollo team, operations as well as the administrative side, the programming side, really rallied. It has been really amazing that we have been able to continue to do what we have to do to, serve the community. And, we're a mission-based organization to continue to do what we think we're supposed to be doing as a a performing arts institution in the Harlem community. So one of the things we did was in pivoting to the digital stage, we first started with putting a lot of the programming on that we had already done, but things that we thought were topical, like some of our conversation series and, you know, some of our, we had done a couple of, you know, concerts and operas and just a lot of things. And this is what most of the performing arts organizations across the country are doing. It's being offered for free, so there's no revenue coming in from that. But I think that the important thing for us was to, you know, continue to be top of mind to our constituency, to let people know that we're still there, and we're still trying to be responsive to their needs. In compliance with, you know, the state and local directives, we gradually, in the middle towards late part of the summer, were able to begin to rent the theater to people who were interested in photo shoots or streaming programming, all of this without audiences. And that began to create a small revenue source. It also allowed us to really make sure that we had the right protocols in place to allow people into the building. And so we feel that we'll be prepared when we're able to begin letting live, you know, having live performances with audiences in the building. At present, most of my staff is working remotely. The only people in the building are, you know, some of our operations people, our security people. And, you know, we don't really know what's going to happen. Every time we think we know when we might be able to go back to the new normal, I guess, or go towards the new normal, things get moved back. I think with the, I'm bullish because of the vaccine, but I don't think that we're going to see anything begin until possibly the spring, and it could be longer. So we're just trying to, you know, we slashed our 21 budget pretty substantially, almost by half. And so, you know, we continue to go out and aggressively fundraise because that's primarily the revenue that I'm operating on. And that's about it.